Hey guys, welcome back. Carter, BitsBeTrippin. Glad to have you back. It's been about 3 to 4 days since we've had a video with you guys. If you guys follow us on Twitter, you see what's going on. That is how you keep the heartbeat of what BBT and crew are doing. We have been building our second location right now when it comes to build and maintaining rigs. We have a farm that we're going to be designing around Bitcoin mining ASICs. We're aiming for 10 megawatt, which is a pretty crazy build, but we have not lost our GPU roots and have put before you guys an 11 card RTX 3080 non LHR EVGA for the Win 3 edition. That's a lot to say in one go there, but this build is crazy. Let's get into this. Let's jump to our sponsor and I'll tell you all about it. Decentralization is one of the most important factors in a global cryptocurrency network. Bitcoin's proof of work functions due to the exceptional security provided by the miners of the network. Today's sponsor is Compass Mining, a company with a customer-focused experience providing a tailored approach to purchasing, hosting, or even an at-home option, allowing anyone the opportunity to participate. If this interests you, head over to compassmining.io. All right, my dudes, we are back. So what is this build about? This is the remaining piece of some of the cards that we had. We had ordered 56 of these a long time ago. They finally came in, I don't know, about a couple months ago. And we've just been building and cleaning and adjusting the farm, and we just hadn't got time to get to this. I was getting folks trained up. We're now at 9 employees for BBT and just getting everybody in place for our new facility build out. And this kind of took a back burner. So now we have it deployed. It's an 11 card rig. It has 4 EVGA 1200 watt P2 power supplies in it. It's got a Asus B250 Mining Expert motherboard. Again, there's 11 GPUs in here, and we're going to get right into the numbers for you guys. And then we'll go through kind of a rationale of why we built this version of it. So if we peel back the numbers and we look at Ethereum first, this would be Ethereum Classic, Ethereum, Ubik, anything that's run an Ethash algorithm, you're looking at 99.7 megahash per GPU here. You're looking at right at 1.1 gigahash for this entire rig at about 2,400 watts. Now we can get it down to where we'll be around 90 megahash at about 2,100 watts. So it saves us a couple hundred watts, but it's not really worth losing almost an entire 100 megahash there. So these are really good cards. The EVGA for the Win Edition 3s from the RTX 3080s are some of the best 3080s that you can get from a stock standpoint. So these things deployed together really are doing a good job of keeping cool, considering they do have about 1.5 inches spacing between each other. Now this would be in the farm and have proper ventilation. These things would drop to around 30 on the fan speed, which then would save the life and longevity of the fans. But when we look at the numbers on something that doesn't use as much power, such as Ergo, we can drop this thing all the way down to about 1,400 watts for the entire machine and get about 2.5 gigahash on Ergo. That's a pretty crazy number. Now, we don't like putting the profit and all that in there just because, you know, you guys have watched this video over a course of, you know, years, and those numbers change. So having the stats of the cards and the output, you can then put into the calculator and figure out what that kind of ratio is for you and your power cost. Now, let's take a look at something like Flux. This thing, with the right configurations, you can kick this up to about 3.3 kilowatt, which is 3,300 watts. If you have your settings set to 330 on the power and about plus 200 on the core, and you can get about 95 hashes per card, which puts us right over a full 1,000 hashes on Flux. However, I did run these a little slower at 270 watts per card to get right around 88 to 84 hash on Ergo, or on Flux rather, And that gets us in a pretty decent range of around that 913 hashes for this entire rig. Now, lastly, let's take a look at the Kapow, which would be Raven Coin, and also Firo hash here, or Firo Pow, both having roughly the same numbers. Having this thing set to about 1625 on the core, 2100 memory, and 270 on the wattage per card, and this thing is rocking in at close to 545 mega hash for the entire rig at 49 mega hash per card, which is just crazy. And that's, you're just at 3,000 kilowatts here, as you can see, or 3,000 watts, which is not too bad. I would really like to set this thing down to where it's run around 2,400 watts, which means I'm going to take that power down to about 230 watts, not generate as much heat. And you end up right around 40 mega hash per card, 40 to 41 mega hash per card. So you're stealing about 8 mega hash per card on something like Raven Coin. However, the heat generation goes from around 62 C when you're at 80 fan speed down to about 45 C at 30% fan speed. Huge difference. You want to drop these cards down to where they're not just overcooking, especially on something like Raven Coin that uses the entirety of the card itself. So it's the core and the memory really get taxed on something like Raven Coin. So again, crazy build. This one to get deployed out in the farm to stay cool inside one of the containers, and we'll do some checkups on it. This is a crazy build that we have been anticipating trying to put a bigger version of this together, like a 14 card, but just because of the size of the cards, it would have been kind of an overbearing case. This is an older case that we had built for some Red Devil R9 390X2s from a prior video that you guys probably remember back in like 2016. That machine, to give you guys an idea, had 6 cards in it, and it essentially was like two 3090s or two 390s, the R9 series from AMD, 2 per card because they were dual core cards. So it was equivalent to having a 12 card rig. And back then, that machine itself, because of the Ethereum difficulty, was earning about 330 Ethereum in 2016 per month, to give you an idea of how much Ethereum that thing was generating. And that kind of wraps me into the final closure of something like this, because a lot of people are going to run the numbers now, and they're going to be like, this doesn't make any sense. This entire machine may make $45 a day right now on Ethereum, and it's about a $25,000 machine if you were paying over exorbitant prices on these cards. If you're buying them for $1,600 right now, that a piece, you're still talking almost $18,000 for this build. Like current money, what's the ROI on something like that? But anytime we've ever built stuff, and you guys should know this, we've been around since 2013, showing you guys how to build machines. This is always a long-term play for us. We're contributing, showing people how to get part of this network, looking at the developments of the networks, and then circumstantially those token prices typically will follow the most high-end development and the most user engagement of a particular network. I think there's 4 strong networks that are right in behind Ethereum that have a real opportunity to expand in the future post Ethereum's proof of stake. So when Ethereum drops off, we have Ethereum Classic, we have Raven Coin, Ergo, and Flux all have large amounts of development, parallel assets on Flux. You got Ergo with the lowest power usage of the cards for the folks that are overheating cards or having issues with thermals. They can mine something like Ergo and not have to deal with that as much. And you have something like Raven Coin that has a very vibrant development community. They have an amazing NFT architecture and design, driving right into the metaverse piece with that on a layer 1, not so tied up on a federated layer 2 network. Huge opportunities there. And Ethereum Classic obviously can inherit most of the development effort that's been done on Ethereum when it comes to DeFi and all that. So huge opportunity in the proof of work GPU mining space. Also the amount of engagement and involvement that can come from the proof of work side on folks that can actually get cheaper cards and participate, I think, is a key factor. So again, you look at numbers right now, a machine like this, 11 cards, something on Raven Coin, is earning well into close to 400 coins a day. You're looking at 10,000 coins, a month on something like this. And if Raven would get price discovery at some time in the future, maybe after its second halving and it pushes to $1, that would have been equivalent right now to today's money of this machine earning $10,000 per month, which is a lot. If I look back at Ethereum, I look back at Litecoin, I look back at Bitcoin, I look at those first layer one networks that got market penetration, that have development and continued development. It's about the far future, not the immediate future. This is not a get rich quick type of environment. And anybody in mining will tell you that. This is an investment upholding network for the security that's compensated in a token that may speculatively be worth something later on in life. So that's a hedged risk we take with this hardware versus just buying the token, which we do too. We have a hedge with the hardware. So that's a kind of like, to wrap that one up, to give you guys an idea of why somebody would do something like this. Not financial advice. Do your own research. Start with one card and work your way up, my dudes. All right, let's finish this one up. Make sure you're liking, subscribing. If you want more content on this machine and others, make sure you're following us on Twitter. We have a TikTok now at BitsBeTrippin. We have Instagram at BitsBeTrippin_official. I know it's been forever. I finally hit Instagram, and we'll catch you guys on the next one.